All right, some folks have asked me about the inventory, and the problem with doing that is I don't know what you've seen and what you haven't. I know when I'm going to upload this, and I've got a list somewhere of when I uploaded what and when I recorded what, but quite frankly, if I gave you an inventory right now, spoilers, you would know what I no longer have that might be coming down the pike as far as a review is concerned. Plus, then I would have to admit how many of these little beasties I have, and I'm not about to do that at this point. But since it's before Christmas and some people were asking me for some more information about some things that they hadn't seen yet, and I had already posted one early because I was asked, and I'm just a good guy when it comes to that kind of thing. I thought I would go ahead and give some information about some guitars that I haven't picked up and why. And the first company that I want to start with is CNZ Audio. Now, I have played a CNZ Audio Telecaster, the mini Telecaster, and it had a real issue with one of the frets on the second fret. And it had been put on the floor of the shop where I was playing it with that fret problem, and I noticed it immediately, and I took it to the guy behind the counter, and I explained to him kind of what was going on. And it was not something that could be solved quickly in the store. So I really wasn't able to give it a fair shakedown. I did play one of their Strats and really enjoyed it, but I don't know if it was because of the mood that I was in or something, but my pinky kept brushing up against the volume knob, and I just let that bother me. That's not really anything on the guitar. It's just an adaptability thing. Now that I've played a ton of different minis, I don't think that would be a problem. This was pretty early on in the whole mini vacation, mini journey kind of thing. So I'm going to give CNZ Audio another try. Matter of fact, I just this morning ordered one of the Telecasters, one of the mini Telecasters. And so I'm looking forward to being able to do a review on that when I get it in. The reason that it took me so long to pull the trigger is I couldn't find any information out about the company. And when I was engaged with them through email, eventually, I think when they kind of figured out I wasn't going to be an immediate customer, I kind of got lost in the shuffle of the emails. I'm not blaming the company for that at all. I was more pressing them for information, and I was trying to figure out where the things are made. I think we all know where they're made, but the fact that they're not marked as imported, and it seems like everything on the company site kind of leads you to believe that they're manufactured in the USA. Don't necessarily know that that's not the case, but I find it hard to believe. So I'll know more when I get it, and then I'll post a review at that point. And so that's kind of where I stand on CNZ Audio at this point.
The Squier Mini Jazzmaster is another guitar that I've really been kind of going back and forth on the fence about for quite some time. You see, I own a lot of the Strats, the mini Strats, and so I know that the neck is likely to be the same one, if not very similar. And since it's mostly a maple fretboard, I've almost bought one just to swap the necks out with some of the ones that I have with, I think, either rosewood or palfaro or something. I'm not real sure what they are. But anyway, I wasn't going to buy it just for the neck. But if I don't like it, I always know that I can swap the neck out, which gets me into the position of where the output jack is located on the pick guard. I'm not a big fan of that. And I'm not really a big fan of where the switch is located to flip the pickups back and forth. I really like the Strat location with it down where I can hit it with my pinky and kind of change it mid-song. And the other part of that is, since it comes with humbucking pickups, I know that I could swap that out and put in pickups that I like. So it's got a neck that I might not want to keep. It's got an output jack that I don't necessarily like where it's located. It's got a switch where I definitely don't like where it's located. And it's got pickups that I might end up modding. And I still really would like to have one, except for the fact that I have this. Now, I can't play this. The scale length is 25.5. I used it a couple of weeks ago when I was doing the scale length thing and giving it a shot. 10 minutes in and my hand is wasted. So I could play the Squier Mini Jazzmaster a lot longer, but I can't get those MFD big boy pickups into that Jazzmaster. And if I'm going to have an offset, I really like those G&L MFD pickups. almost to the point where a new set of single coil sized MFD pickups for one of the mini strats runs about $270. And if I could get that with their electronic system and the way they've got the bass and treble controls for their guitars, I'd have one in a heartbeat. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen. So after playing the Jazzmaster and finding out that it's kind of like the mini strats that I have, only less, I just haven't picked one up. It's not right for me. The Blackstar Carry-On. This is another one of those premium looking guitars. It's got a great price point as far as higher than the rest of them. And I look at it and I just think, ooh, if I came into some money, man, I would have one of those in a heartbeat. And then I came into some money and I didn't have one of those in a heartbeat. And here's basically why. The Blackstar Carry-On comes with a single mini humbucking pickup. And you can coil split or tap or whatever. Basically, you can play it as a single coil or you can play it as a double coil, which means that it can give you the same sound as the Vox SDC1, which you can pick up for $100 or $150 or at most $230. Or it gives you the same sound that the Lagrima or Best Choice 30-inch guitars give you with their standard single coil. And I can get one of those, well, for $36.13, including shipping on Goodwill. So when I look at the Blackstar and I think, okay, well, if I get something like this, I'm going to have to mod it like crazy, like I did with the Vox SDC1 in order to like it. Or like I did with those Best Choice or the Lagrima imports in order to get so I like it. So why would I pay nearly $300 for a guitar that I'm just going to rip apart? So that's why I haven't pulled the trigger on the Blackstar Carry-On. All right, here's the reason I don't have the Hofner Shorty. 24.7. 24.7 is the scale length, which is the distance actually from this point between these two fret markings and the nut, doubled. This is 24. This guitar I can play for about 15 minutes before my hand starts cramping up and locking and I can't play it anymore. That's actually a good thing because it's gotten longer as far as the time is concerned. This guitar is one of my full-size Stratocasters. Now this guitar has a scale length from here to here, doubled, of 25.75. That's the same as my G&L Doheny, and it's the same as my American Standard Strat. My hand locks up about 10 minutes into one of those. So if I get a Hofner Shorty, I'm going to be in between those two guitars that I can't play for more than 15 minutes. So I figure I'll probably be able to play at about 12.5. And I'm not going to spend that kind of coin to get a guitar that I may or may not be able to play in the future, especially since I'm looking at the possibility of having to unload some of those. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's a humbucking pickup, with the fact that it has neck dive. Most of the guitar itself is neck, so there's going to be dive. It has nothing to do with the brand or anything other than the fact of the scale length. As far as I'm concerned, that knocks it out of contention. So while it may be a small guitar, it doesn't have a shorter scale. Now, you may be wondering about that Licks Pro TL30, the 30-inch Telecaster copy or adaptation, I guess would be more accurate. Its scale length is 23.7. I haven't hit my limit on that yet, which is weird to me. So who knows? Maybe it's radius times scale length times body times distance from the... I don't know. I just know that my experience with anything over 24 inches has not been entirely positive. Feel free to insert a joke on that in your comments down below. Some other brands that people have mentioned to me or that I've only recently become aware of are some brands out of Germany. I think J&D is one and Harley Benton is another one. Apparently they make mini size guitars, 3/4 or 7/8 guitars, and I've investigated those, but I haven't pulled the trigger on those. I do think one of the things about J&D that interests me is the fact that if you buy 2 guitars, you only have to pay shipping once, and you can get a couple of their guitars for around what one CNZ audio kind of costs. So I'm intrigued by that, and I may look to that in the future. And those are some of the other brands that I'm aware of. Anything that I haven't mentioned, apart from Rogue, I know Rogue is out there, and I've played a couple of those and decided not to go that route. Anything that I have not mentioned or that you haven't seen on the site, it means that I don't know about it. So if you could leave what that is in your comments, or if you could leave recommendations in your comments and post links, that would be awesome, because I would love to be able to find some things that might bring something new to the channel and something new to the room. So I hope this helped, and I hope this answered questions you didn't know you had. Go play, y'all.